So we're live. Hopefully we're live and no further issues. I was getting everything set up on my desk just moments before we were supposed to start, and all of a sudden everything disappeared. Said my chat wasn't available. I was like, oh no, what's happening here? Apparently the internet had a hiccup. Hopefully, whoa. Okay, I was watching everything on my phone to see if it was like, is it the internet? Is it YouTube? Like, what was happening? Anyhow, so clearly audio and video is live. Okay, just gonna have to give me a second. Today we are working with our current curated collection. I have links for everything in the description below. If you're not sure what a curated collection is, it is a collection of art supplies that I have pulled together that I think will work very cohesively. Excuse me. And anyhow, I just need to like reset. I am so sorry, guys. It is a collection of art supplies that I put together that I think will work cohesively for you to try. And then I unboxed that 2 weeks ago here on live. And I give you 2 weeks to order them. And then we come back together. That's today. And we paint with them. And you have the opportunity to ask questions or just see how the products work. Maybe you're undecided yet. Today is the day you decide you want to get them. They're all linked below. We are painting some floral bookmarks today. I will. The anxiety will calm down. We will be fine. So I am painting some floral bookmarks today. Florals aren't really my jam. I don't usually paint those. But if you are a patron or channel member and you are on Discord, you saw that this morning I shared with you all behind the scenes when I took my walk around the property here and grabbed pictures of all the flowers that are currently in bloom. There are a lot. And today we're going to paint some of those. One of them, though, is from my recent trip to the Coastal Maine Botanical Gardens. Earlier this month. I'm sorry, the brain is like, it's got to get back. It's got to get back here. And that will be the last one. Hopefully we will get through all of them today. I saw Joseph asking, are we going to get through these before the next thing? Which, if you, I don't know, if you aren't familiar, if you haven't seen it, today is also, if I didn't have enough stress in the day, today is also the patron and channel member appreciation night. And at 7 p.m. my time, which is just 4 short hours away, we will be live on Zoom. The link is posted. It's posted here on YouTube in the community tab. It is, I'm like trying to make room as I talk to you guys. I apologize for not being ready, but there was a lot to get ready today. So the link is posted on Discord. It is posted on Patreon, and it is posted on the community tab here on YouTube for all channel members. It will have the link to Zoom. We are going to play bingo. We are definitely going to play bingo. That was a lot of fun for everybody. Thank you to those who participated during the Zoom studio session that we had last Friday. That was for creator and studio members, and we tested it out, and it was a lot of fun. We worked the kinks out, so I think we're gonna have a lot of fun tonight. You do have to have your cards printed and filled out before we start at 7 p.m. So you can get your cards, you can download them, you will download there's a list for you to choose from to fill in your names, and I hope to see you tonight on the Zoom call. So yay, I can't wait. It is going to be so much fun. I have some door prizes. Let me just share with you guys. So I do have an original that I am doing has been matted and sealed. And if you guys remember this one, we painted this one on the channel. There's that one. And then I was like, wasn't thinking about a lighthouse theme, but it kind of worked out that way. I have a couple prints that are, you can actually see it right here. The original sits right there in my studio above my head. I'm not ready to part with that yet. However, I did do some prints, and these are, both the matting is signed and the signature is actually on the artwork. So those are going to be some of the things that are happening that I'm giving away tonight. In addition, let me take you, well, no, I can probably show you here. I have like a bunch of the bookmarks that I've created, which are actually original artwork. They have been laminated. So I have a bunch of these. And if you win one of these, you're actually going to get to choose the one that you want. So these are going to be, some of these are going to be up tonight for door prizes. And it does not matter for those if you are in the US or not. This is something that is open to all. I shared on Discord that I didn't think I was going to be able to mat them if somebody that wasn't in the US had won, because of, it has to be like an ounce or less. It ended up being 1.2 ounces with the envelope. And I was like, ugh. It changed it. Like, it made it go ridiculous. And then I would have had to, there would be customs forms involved and like all, it can't happen. However, I changed the backer boards, and they would be, if you happen to win and you are not in the US, they will be like a cardstock backer. And that's the best I can do to be able to make sure I can include everybody in that, which was my goal. Because I appreciate you all, whether you are here in the US or not. And I appreciate your support. So this is all about showing my gratitude for all of you. And there are going to be other prizes. So that's not it. I think there's like a little Easter egg back there, that's in that whole things I'm giving away. And then I have some other things that are, I think everybody will enjoy. So I hope that you all get to come by. If you are a patron or a channel member, please go grab the link for Zoom. If you can't, for whatever reason, download the stuff that you're going to need for tonight, if you go to the Zoom meeting, in the Zoom chat, I've posted instructions and all the files that you need to be able to get your bingo cards and fill them out if you want to play bingo with us. So, okay. Enough of that. Let's get on to today. We are using the supplies from our curated collection. Again, a collection of art supplies that I have curated for you. And this time our collection includes, let's go down to the desk so we can see everything. And wow, I don't even understand. Why is that like that? There we go. Because I did the Wheel of Names last week. So it was still sharing. It was sharing my, studio. YouTube studio. Because it was sharing Chrome. Okay. You never know what's going to happen here on a Thursday, folks. I'm just saying. I have my bookmarks already sketched out. I pinned this. It is pinned in the live comments. So if you're watching live, how you can get the line drawings, they're over on Patreon for free. If you're watching this on the replay, it's in the description below. So you can get your line drawings. I don't usually do florals. We're doing it today. We're going to give it a try. Of course, I have my Princeton Velvet Touch brushes. The one that was added to our collection in this curated collection is the size 6 Princeton Velvet Touch. That's this one right here. If this is the first collection you've got and this is the only brush you have, it's fine. You can use this. You can make it work. It is not a problem. If you got the add-on set, that would be these brushes right here. The 3/4 inch wash, the size 4 round, the 3/8 angle shader, and the size 8 long round. In addition, If you have been collecting the Curated Collections, in collection number 2, it's when I started adding Velvet Touch brushes, we did the size 10 round, which could have gone well with this set. So right now, you could have collected this many brushes if you are getting the Curated Collections and painting along. I have finished editing another video for you. So there will be a standalone video, not a live stream, and that will be out this Saturday. I have my summer art haul for you, but I think the following Saturday you will have that video. So we're going to have one more live stream with these. So you'll have these paintings, another live stream where you can jump in, ask questions if you're having trouble with these supplies, anything like that. And then you'll be able to paint along then too in next week's. Oh no, next week is the 4th of July. Stop. Full stop. Next week is the 4th of July. So I don't know that I will be streaming on the 4th of July. So one of two things is going to happen. Either I am going to stream the day early and it will be on Wednesday, July 3rd at my normal time, 3 to 5. Or I will release the paint along video on Thursday. One of those two things are going to happen. I don't know that we have plans for the 4th of July yet, but I know that I'm not going to be live. So one of those two things is going to happen. Stay tuned. I will make sure that I have, that I post it in the community tab and let you know what my plans are as soon as they firm up. So we will either be live on Wednesday or the video that I have edited will release on Thursday. That's my goal. That's my goal. So there we are. Let me just say hi to everybody who's been here when I was going through my chaos. Tara and other Tara. So we have Tara, our moderator, and I say other Tara because we have two now. And Dolphin Soul, hello, hello. Arta Joseph Fincham is here, our other moderator, of course. Cadmium Red Feral Kitten, hello. I did just say Dolphin Soul, right? I'm sorry, guys. And Rob is here. Hi, Rob. I feel like Romper Room. Can anybody like remember that show? Can we go in the Wayback Machine? And I see Fly Me to the Moon and Dolphin Soul again. And Jacqueline Turbot, hello, hello. You are here. Glad you made it. George Pencil Art, don't worry about being a bit late. The internet went crazy and we started a few moments late. Okay, are you guys ready to paint? I am so ready to paint. We are not going to be using all of the colors. Now, I do have one of the Mead and Ceramic palettes here, but you know what? I think I do have links for this in the description, but I think I want to use, just because I want a little extra room. I'm not sure how many colors or what we're going to mix with them yet. So I'm grabbing a butcher's tray. Okay, and that's going to be this guy. And I'm going to do it like that because hopefully I'll be able to have more space to share with you. And I have to, like, forgive the scooting. I have to scooch over. Okay. Okay. Colors I'm going to be using today. I am looking at my images. I am definitely going to be using the crimson. So I have them, as you see, I have them lined up here. And actually, I don't know if I can even, well, you're not going to see them all in screen, so I don't know why I am messing with it. My water is semi-clean. Semi. Excuse me. Okay. My colors I'm going to use. We are going to use some alizarin crimson. So I'm just going to put a drop, boom, 2 drops, there we go, on my butcher's tray. Indian red. Ooh, yeah, I think we're going to grab a little bit of the Indian red. I'm thinking of the different flowers that we're doing. I'm going to put that one right there. Maybe not. We'll see. We shall see. We are going to want our deep yellow. I'll put deep yellow down here. No, we should still be able to fit it in on the screen. So we have our deep yellow. Got 2 little dots of that on my palette. The yellow ochre. The one thing that this is missing, if you guys see, if your hydras, if they do this, this can happen when, like, if they mine have been laying on their side again. I didn't shake them before we started because, you know, I was running around like chicken when my head got off before the stream, trying to get everything ready, both for the stream and for bingo later. All you gotta do is shake those up. So forgive me for a moment while I get this back together. We're also going to end up using our sap green. I'm trying to keep a limited palette, but also we have a few different paintings that we're going to do here today. And hopefully we're going to get right through all of them. I'm going to kind of paint them continuously. Like while I'm waiting for something to dry here, I'm going to start painting something on something else. So, or I'm debating if I should just paint one, because then I can timestamp them. And then you could just always, if you're watching the replay, jump to your favorite bookmark and paint it. We'll do that. We'll do that. And if I don't finish one, we will paint it together. I will save it and we will paint it together. And it'll just be part of the next live stream when we come back together and use these colors. So there's that. But I don't think it should be too bad. I also have one of the add-ons is our Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White. This is going to come in handy when we paint our allium. I have ideas. Okay. Now we don't have, okay, my yellow's good. So my yellow ochre. Let the confusion begin. Yeah. Hopefully not. Hopefully I don't confuse too many people. It is the first time we've had 2 Terras on the channel at the same time. I don't think I'm going to need burnt umber. Just know that they're up here. If I decide I need to grab one, the sepia I am going to grab. Oh, I am also grabbing the burnt sienna. We're definitely going to want burnt sienna. I'm going to put that because we are going to need to mix. We're going to need to mix with that. So I've got my burnt sienna. I have my sepia. You are going to see when we, the recorded video that I have for you, some ways to mix some really nice greens with these. That's sepia. That's sepia. That's burnt sienna. It's going to be hard. All right, I'm putting my Payne's Gray over here in the corner. We got 3 drops of that on there. Our Cobalt Blue. A little extra there. And our Sap Green. All of these colors are not going to be used on all in one, in one painting. We will have I've got a bit of Sap Green there. I might need more as we go, but we'll just see what happens. So we're going to start with number 1, and I'm actually just going to slide these under. How about that? No, that's not going to work. I will put my hands in stuff. That is not going to work. All right, we're going to start with our daisies. And I think, all right, I'm popping the 8 round back in here. I don't know if that I will use that. I'll probably grab the 10 if I grab a larger round brush. Okay, so I have my size 6 round. Let's get that brush away. It is looking awfully dark out there. Like, oh, I think it is actually raining. Okay. Hopefully we have no more internet problems. First, we're going to paint our background. So I'm just going to kind of come in and wet the areas around where my daisies are. Again, I did make these line drawings available for you. I'm going to do it in sections, so I'm going to work this top part. Just because I know things dry really fast in this studio. So I'm going to wet right over where the bumblebee wings are, but not the body. There we go. And we're going to come over here with our, look at that. Grab some water. I want a lighter value of our cobalt blue. This is probably going to be not too bad, but that's a little dark. So just rinsing my brush off, tapping it. I have my sponge. Here. I'll actually set it here. Then you guys will be able to see when I tap that. There. And I'm just going to kind of move this around. Painting around my bumblebee. Not worrying if I paint where my wings are, right? Bumblebee wings, you can see through them. You guys see what I'm doing? I'm trying to keep my hand out of the way. I was going to try to get my camera on the side view for you, but yeah. As I was working on that kind of stuff, that's when the internet decided it wanted to go crazy. You notice I have not brought any more color in. I got a little bit on that petal, that's fine. I'm not worried about it. I may use a liner pen on this one. If you don't have a liner pen, don't worry about that. You could always do it with your brush. And we're going to make some, not black, but almost black. I'm like hiding off the camera here, aren't I? So I'm leaning so I could see. I move to the next part of my background. Actually, tap that on my, that's habit. I didn't need to tap that on my sponge. So my sponge is here. So when you see me go here, you know I'm tapping on my sponge. If that's something that you need to see more of, like need to see the sponge in view, you're going to have to let me know in comments. Liquid watercolors can act very different. All right, I'm just going to get those two areas done. More water on my brush coming in. Now see how I've got a much more diluted mixture here. And I'm going to bring that in. I'm not going to worry if some areas are darker than the other or darker than others. I was waiting to hear all about snacks and stuff too there. George and Cadmium Red Feral Kitty. I was like, oh my gosh, Lou had actually made me lunch when he got home. He got home early. And he's like, do you need anything before I go out to my shop and work? And I was like, oh my gosh, something to eat would be great. And he brought it up. Yeah, I barely got any of that in because I was so busy working, trying to get everything ready for you guys today. Okay. I'm just going to keep going. I'm not even going to worry about pre-wetting it. I'm just going to keep, we're going to see how that goes. Yeah, it's not too dark. I think it's fine. Although, could you guys hear Tuka? She's chattering down there. So I just cleaned off my brush, tapped it on my sponge because there's a lot of water here. I'm just going to move it around. This is a piece of the Strathmore Vision watercolor paper. From our 9x12 pad that was part of our collection this time. I cut it in half so that it was 9x6. I taped it to my board and I used, and I apologize, I didn't mention this one before we started. And I used my Meeden masking tape to do my border. I'm not worried if I paint a little bit into some of these leaves because you know what? It's going to dry lighter and we're going to paint over this with green. So it's not going to matter. Yeah, so I just taped that border down and then I took 3 pieces. These are each approximately, I don't know what to do with my roller. They're about 1.5 inches wide by sure, and about 5.5 inches long. So that will be something that will fit in my little laminating pouches that I use for bookmarks, and I'll be able to cut and laminate these. Just continuing to paint around my daisies and my leaves, just filling in that background. Again, I'm not worried if some areas are slightly darker than others. It's just a background. Oh my gosh, I don't know if you guys can hear Tuka. She's just down there making all kinds of noise. I probably should have lightened my pencil marks. I'll give this a quick dry. Grab my kneaded eraser and I'm going to lighten up some of these, especially like for my daisy. I had left them because I want you guys to be able to see. And I meant to lighten them before I started actually painting. Make sure I get all of the areas in between that should be blue background. So yeah, if you're on Discord, if you are a creator member or above, you have access to reference photos that I share, right? Because creators need reference photos. So I share those on Discord. The picture of the daisies that I took these daisies from, which is really raining now, that is available over there, as is the geranium and the bee balm. And I don't think this allium was on there, but it's possible I might have shared that back when I went to the botanical gardens. Hi, Maya. Rob says he can hear Tuka. Yeah, she's a squawker. And she's downstairs, so can you guys imagine? Oh my goodness. I'm setting up that downstairs space. And I thought if I end up working down there, I don't know that I could ever stream down there because I'm afraid somebody would be watching this with like earbuds on or something and she would just screech and destroy your eardrums. I'm going to mute this while I give it a dry. Okay, that did not take long. I think it's good enough. I have a kneaded eraser here. My little graphite one. I put one in another container and that one is for charcoal. So one says graphite, one says charcoal. Not that you need to, just the way that I do it. Fly Me to the Moon asks, what kind of bird is Tuka? Tuka is a sun conure. And no, you guys can't see it in my background. The painting that I did of Tuka is actually right there. You can see the green from it, but you can't actually see Tuka. All right, so just doing a little lifting of this. I'll lighten some of these lines up. Rob was sharing bookmarks that he did of some florals. They were absolutely wonderful with us over on Discord. I'm telling you guys, if you are a channel member, or a patron and you're not on Discord yet, like that, you're missing a ton of your benefits by not connecting to Discord, because all the behind the scenes stuff, Discord knew first, like about the appreciation night. Discord knew first how to connect. Discord gets the reference photos. Discord gets all the behind the scenes. There's a lot on Discord. And anyhow, you can share your artwork, work in progress, finished stuff, all of that with us over there. Rob shared some bookmarks that he just did, and I was like, you know, maybe I'll do some more bookmarks and we'll do some florals and see how that goes. And so I did. And that's where we are today. So thanks for the inspiration, Rob. That and I took the walk around the yard this morning for some more inspiration for what flowers I was actually going to do. And these are a little more intricate than like the ones that Rob does, but I absolutely love those. Okay, we're going to take our sap green. And I don't know that this sap green is actually, I'm not really thrilled about that on its own. Tara says, I'm trying to Discord. You have connected. So Tara, if you've connected on Discord, if you've gone to Discord, being a channel member, once you've gone on to Discord, you have to go into your settings, which you click that little cogwheel by your name. All right, I'm adding a tiny bit of yellow ochre to my sap green. I kind of like that green better. And then once you click on settings, then you're going to go to connections. And when you click on connections, that's in the list on the left, that will pop up and you'll see where you can actually select YouTube. And then you would sign in on YouTube or sign into your YouTube account with the same YouTube account that has received a gifted membership. And that should automatically, there's a little bot that should automatically give you access. You may then have to click on, like you'll see my server has my logo that is my art signature that you see sometimes if you watch my videos where at the end, my logo is usually there. That's the logo for my server. So you can see that, and you might have to click join to join it. But yeah, that's how you get onto Discord from YouTube. If you are a Patreon, you actually have to go on Patreon, and in your settings on Patreon, you have to connect Patreon to Discord on the Patreon side, and then that will drop you into any Discord server that you have permissions for based on creators that you are patrons of. I'm just painting some of these stems. Just getting that was a little thick, but it's fine. Don't worry. It doesn't have to be perfect. They will be lovely. These are bookmarks. My hand's all shaking and wonky. Congratulations, Rob, and thank you so much for all of your support. He's been a super fan for 9 months and helped numerous others become super fans. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Joseph. Joseph said she got in. All the thank you, thank you. Oh, Joseph says he doesn't have Allium's loves them but doesn't have any. That'll be next year's new flowers. I've thought about putting some alliums and some poppies since I went to the botanical gardens. I was like, oh my gosh, these are gorgeous. So yeah, I'm thinking about adding, I need to put in a new perennial bed if I do that because I'm running out of room. Thank you, Rob. Rob has gifted 10 memberships. We have, I'm just going to go through and share them on screen. Welcome to everybody who has been gifted a membership. And if you're here watching live, well, you could check out the community tab afterwards, and it would have information about tonight's member appreciation night. So there's that. Okay. All right. And yeah, we have thank yous going out to Rob, and Cadmium Red Feral Kitten says, yay, Rob, I'm your super fan. Yeah. All right, let's keep going with our stems here. I'm not going to work into the bud on this one because I want to put the yellow down first. And again, we're just getting our first layer of green on here. I think I missed some blue in between, but I can come back with it. I thought I put that leaf on in front of this. I don't know. The flowers in front now. I mean, I could just paint right through, but these are very transparent. You would see that that line was there first. I need to mix up some neutral tint. I am going to want to neutralize some things. So there isn't a neutral tint. There is a Payne's Gray, but this is like, this looks more like an indigo versus a Payne's Gray. But we are going to use that. I don't know why I just rinsed that out of my brush, because we are going to use that. We're going to take some burnt sienna right here. And to that, we are going to add some of our Payne's Gray. And this is going to give us a lovely neutral tint that now no longer looks indigo, doesn't look like indigo or burnt sienna. I say indigo, it's Payne's Gray. Doesn't look like the Payne's Gray or that. They neutralize each other very, very nicely. So there is our dark. Remember I said if you had, if you didn't have a pen, you could use, this was another one of the add-ons, right? We had the set with the dip pen and the dip pens and the nibs. That was an add-on. You could certainly take this color, put that on there, and do the line work with that. I'll show you when we get there how you can use that if you did the add-on, because I just thought that was a fun add-on. But I'm going to take some of this sap green and I'm going to bring just a touch of that neutral, I'm calling it neutral tint, okay? It is our mixture of our Payne's Gray and our burnt sienna. So I'm calling it neutral tint, and that I'm using just to desaturate and darken up my sap green. And there we go. Rob says, how are they layering down? So far, so good. We will see as we continue here what happens. That is it's a little dark. So I'm just rinsing my brush out, tap that off. And just from what I've touched there on my leaf, now I'm going to come back in and move some of that around. Just dropping in some more color. I could have painted this one first, but it's behind this stem that's going up for our tall one. So just dipping in my water, a little more diluted mixture. Just tap the tip on my sponge to make sure I didn't have too much in there. There we go. Let's do this leaf that's way back here. Can you guys hear Discord? Like, is it picking up what I'm hearing on my speakers from my computer? Because I can hear that some of you must be chatting on Discord. I just want to make sure that because I can shut it off, that's not coming across on the video. Oh, we'll just paint that as this leaf. There we go. I still should have had a little bit of blue right there, and I can come back and touch those spaces when I am done painting these leaves. Not hearing it, Rob says. Okay, thank you. I thought that the program that I'm using would cancel any noise from my speakers, but just wanted to be sure. We keep painting in all of our little leaves here. I'm not don't have to be too fussy about it. And I think we're going to test this out in a second here. I think that while they are wet, if I take my little, my dip pen with the small nib in it, and I'm just going to pull down. No, it wants to pull. It wants to pull on the paper in a way that I don't appreciate. We're not going to use that. We're just going to leave it be. And I did damage the paper just slightly, which is fine. Now it's a nice dark line. I know you guys aren't seeing that, but I will bring it back up. Tara says, sorry, that's my fault. No worries, no worries. Check Discord out. That is why it's there. Go say hello. Anyone who was just gifted a superfan membership from Rob, you also will get access to the Discord. I'm not sure how quickly it puts you in, but you will have access. You'll have access to all the behind the scenes stuff. And if you come on over and enjoy hanging out, in order to keep that fun going, you will actually have to go into YouTube and say, hey, I want this to continue. Otherwise, when your month is up, it will go away, and that clever little bot who got you in there so quickly will take you away as well. He does his job. The YouTube bot does his job very well, as far as adding and removing members when their memberships expire or when they start. Again, I'm just pulling the color down, painting in all of these little leaves for our daisies. We're going to paint the centers next. And I'm coming back over this stem that goes up to our tallest daisy. Giving it another layer here. Oh, that's right, Tara. Didn't you say you are? I'm looking at your time being 8:45. Didn't you say you were like Scotland? Am I right? Or am I not remembering correctly? Apologies if I'm not. Painting around this little bud, because again, I'm going to want to paint my yellow in first. And then I'm going to come back over it and do the green marks. Okay. Just coming through now, I'm darkening up the leaves on this one, and I'm going to darken its stem as well. This is for my shortest daisy. Just a variation in the leaves, different colors. Oh wow, that is late. That is late. But yes, it's going to be late for other Tara too. Yeah, same time zone as moderator Tara. Okay, let's mix up the yellow for our centers. I'm going to take some of this yellow ochre. And I'm pulling it over here because I am going to take some of my deep yellow. And I'm rinsing my brush. You don't have to in between. I could just grab them, like pull these over. See, my deep yellow is a bit orange, and that's why I went for some of that yellow ochre as well. Now I'm going to want that to really be more dilute. So a lighter version of that color. There we go. See, and now I have this golden yellow. And we are going to place that here in our centers. You see how as I work, of course that gets lighter. I'm going to drop some more in. And this one I want to be light. I'm going to just grab, whoa, I almost made a big old mess. I wish we had a really bright yellow in this set. We don't. The Hydrus line does have a gorgeous bright yellow. It's just not in set 2. So if you collect all the sets, and there's only 3 sets, there are only 36 colors in this entire range, so it's really easy to collect them all. There are no duplicating colors across the set, so if you get set 1, this of course is set 2, and set 3, you will then have all the colors. Or you can just pick and choose and get them individually. Unfortunately, just half the time, that's me as well. All right. Another thing that we want with this yellow, let's pick up a little bit more of that, is we're going to do our little bumblebee. And I'm going to do all of him in this yellow. I know that bumblebees are not all yellow, but I'm painting him with all the yellow because before this dries, we're going to touch on some of this really dark neutral tint in lieu of our black into little stripes, and hopefully they will fuzz out and make it look like, you know, fuzzy little bee. But we need to have the yellow in there first. And I'm going to have to keep an eye. I need to put my light on. So there we go. So I can keep an eye on that as it's drying. So we need to hit it at the right time. Right now it's super glossy. It is. Can you guys see how shiny there? See how shiny that is? I want that to be a dull matte look. When that becomes matte, like this flower is more matte. That's glossy. That one, these are still glossy. So when this becomes more matte, and I'm tipping that so that some of that color can move down on the centers of my flowers. As that becomes more matte, we can dab that in. We're almost done with these. This one is almost finished, so hopefully we're going to get through these. I think this one's going to paint up quickly. I'm not sure on the others, but the geranium I think might maybe actually paint up quickly. We're going to do that one really super loose. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Let's Make Art. That is Sarah Cray. Sarah Cray and her husband just purchased Let's Make Art, and she's always been the artist affiliated with or associated with Let's Make Art. And it's watercolor. She does beautiful watercolor work. She is on Instagram as well. Anyhow, she just did they did a live stream. I want to say that was, gosh, I think that was just yesterday. I think it was yesterday or day before. I think it was on Tuesday. And they did some really loose geraniums, and I loved the style, and we're going to do something similar for these. This is a different type of geranium, but I think it would still work. All right. So we need to, while I'm waiting for this to dry, let's go into, like we can do some of our petals. I'm going to start with this one because this one is most dry. These are still damp. I'm going to take just a tiny bit. I'm going to move this over. So that neutral tint we created, dipping into my water, I want that to be really, really light. Dabbing my brush off on my sponge. I want this good and dry. I want to get most of the moisture that I can out of it. Now I'm going to come back and pick this up on my brush. And I'm just going to come through. Okay, it's just going to be really, this is going to be really light. I'm just putting some marks. It was really, really light. I need to get that just a little bit darker. Here we go. See, I'm just pulling out a few lines on my petals. Just a couple near the center. We're going to line these. We're going to do some line work on this one. It's going to be like a wash thin line. I mean, I guess if you wanted to, if you're watching this and you're on the replay or you're watching and you're going to paint later, you absolutely could line them first and then come back and paint them. That would be perfectly fine. But I think with this one, lining after, it's going to help us because we're not going to worry about staying in the lines, or if our lines aren't perfect around our little spaces we left for our petals, we're not going to worry about that. And I think it's just going to add to it. Here we go. See, we just have some marks around there. There's our daisy so far. And I think you see our bee, he's still a little glossy. I think we need to wait for just a few more minutes. I'm going to test this flower right here. We're going to go to our green. So my brush is clean, but I need to tap that out. I do not want a lot of water here. I just need enough. It's going to make this green. Got a little dry on my palette. It's going to make this green flow off my brush. And I'm going to come around where my bud is, and I'm just going to pull green in towards the center, just pulling with the very tip of my brush, right? Little lines in towards the center. And that is going to make up my little daisy bud. There you go. So there's our little daisy bud. And I think our bee is good now. I think he has, see, he's gone pretty matte. He's not shiny anymore. Again, I don't want a lot of water on my brush because I don't want to flood the area. I want to take this stronger pigment and I'm going to give him this little black his head. Of course, pet his little bum. And I'm going to do some marks. I'm just tapping, and see, that's going to move. So I'm going to be careful. I just want to leave it. So there we go. He's a little bee. And let's give his little dot and bring the line back. Another little dot, bring the line back. There's his little antennae. And we're going to kind of outlining his wings. You could just do this with the liner brush, with a liner pen. I don't have a liner brush yet. See that? See how it fuzzes out? It just fuzzes out. It looks like a bee. Now, I wish we had the brighter yellow in here, because if we had the brighter yellow, I would absolutely use the brighter yellow in there. I'm loving how our centers have that ring, and that's because there was a lot of water in that. So as it dries, that pigment kind of pushes to the outer edges, and we get that harder line. I am going to come back. These are slightly damp. I'm going to go to the one that, this one's wetter than this one. So the one that is more dry, I'm going to pick up just a tiny bit of this yellow that we made again. And I'm going to do just a few little, I was testing to make sure it wasn't going to bleed and fuzz out too much. I'm just going to do a bunch of little dots. Use a little bit more on my brush. And just kind of dotting right around that outer edge. Now I'm going to do it. This one, the sheen is pretty much gone now. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on that guy. I'll do this one first, but then I'm going to do that guy. Just dabbing in my centers. It's hard sometimes. I see Rob asking about screen names on Discord. It's hard when you join Discord. On my server, you can actually change your name. So regardless, you can change it just for that server. So you absolutely could change your name just there to reflect like what you are on Discord. I've asked people that are joining the member and patron appreciation night tonight, when they get on, to let us know what is your screen name on YouTube, so that we know who we are chatting with. Okay, I told you I would show you how you could do I need to touch more burnt sienna in there. I'm still leaning a little bit more towards Payne's Gray. So when I mix that up, I can absolutely brush this color right on my little nib. So if I put my watercolor on my nib, now set that aside. You can, so if you don't have a liner pen, now this isn't going to be waterproof because this is watercolor, but you could then come in, okay, and you could line your daisy. And that was one of the reasons I included this as an add-on this time, because I thought, you know, the little nibs, using them this way I think it's fun. Maybe it's just me, but it's a fun way. And if you were doing something where you wanted to do your line work and you wanted it to kind of disappear, you could use a color and draw out, sketch whatever you were doing in watercolor that would kind of just blend right into whatever you were painting. You could absolutely do that. See that? And so there is our little flower. Yes. I'm going to put that up on the screen in just a second. So the question was, bought on the sets, not used yet. Do these re-wet from dry? Well, I think I remember Lindsay saying not quite your experience. Yeah, they will re-wet. On my palette here, and I will show it to you. Let me bring this up close so you can see. My green has, this green is like, it's almost dry, right? You see, that's almost dry. Well, clearly I have some paint on my hand. So if I re-wet this, I might get a little bit of grit here. I don't know if you can see that. There's a little bit, like, see that piece right there? So there might be a little bit of grit. If I was like, when I'm like painting this, I don't mind. Like, I come back through here with that, even though it had dry, and pop on another layer. These do layer up nicely. And yeah, it's fine. If it adds a little bit of texture into whatever I'm painting, you know, I personally don't mind that. It can re-wet. Would I put a ton on my palette? No, you guys saw me put a few drops. So if I have those few drops there, I will paint with them till they're gone. But I won't put an excess amount of paint down, if that makes sense. And I hope that answers your question. They will re-wet, some better than others as far as like having a little bit of that granule look to them. But yeah. All right, let's get this one done quickly. I'm going to take my, I don't know if I have these listed. These are my favorite. They come in a set like this, and I've listed them before. They are the Tombow Funosuke brush pens. And hopefully I said that correctly. It's a whole thing. You'll hear about my lessons on how to say some of these like Japanese words and such. So this one is a soft tip. This one is a hard tip. The soft tip will vary your line weight very easily. It is soft. But the hard tip, not so much. You can definitely like see how there's like, we've got thicker lines here. I normally prefer like a size 3 if I'm doing the micron, like the Pigma micron pens, those fine liners. This definitely has a bigger nib than what a 3 would give me. And for example, like see how that's really bold. I like this. If I was using like a micron, like a 3, this is a 3. You see the line weight? That's more what I prefer. But I love those pens for being waterproof. They absolutely work. If I wanted to, say I wanted to put like a sentiment on this card, I wanted to do that first and then paint it, I absolutely could. I would not worry about it running or smudging or any of that. Just gonna put a line kind of around my center. You can be as loose with this as you want. had a white spot there, just making another petal. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So I was just, and that was in response to Joseph's comment. I was like, okay, you just randomly answered something, but nobody knows what you're talking about. Okay, I think our next one is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to get really loose. See, taking that like right off onto the masking so it doesn't stop weird on the page. Again, I'm not going to worry if my lines don't line up. It is okay to paint outside the lines, or in this case, line where you didn't paint. Okay, the one thing that I forgot to do was add in that blue. But you know what? You can't even tell because it gets so light right here. I'm just going to leave it alone. There we are. Our little bee. We've got to, oh, I'm going to use my, I am going to use my pen that I just had to do my little marks to show like the flight of my bee. There we go. I'm not even going to outline his, I'm not going to go back over his little wings. I think he's fine. And I didn't draw his little bee legs. You can't see him. He's flying. There we go. We can even continue this if you wanted to. Like, hey, guess what? Maybe he started his journey on this little flower. So there we are. Okay. Rob says to do his loose lines, he holds the pen at the end. Yeah, I don't know. Like haven't gone there, but that is, I will have to give that a try because, you know, maybe that will help like loosen up. Next up, we are going to do, and we can sign these like afterwards. I would sign it right here. That's where I would sign, or maybe right here, but I would sign it at the bottom. I do, I do sign my bookmarks. I'm pretty sure I did on my other ones. I'm raging, really raging. Yeah, see, like my signature's there. It's here. It's on. I've signed all of these, depending like either in white or black. That one, that one. So some of those will be up for door prizes this evening, and hopefully, excuse me. Hold on one second, guys. There. Hopefully I can get everything that is given away tonight sent off tomorrow. It will depend on like how fast everybody gets back to me, but I plan on a trip to the post office tomorrow. Okay. Oh, hello, everybody who is joining in. Heather Bryant, you made it. Yay. Let's see, Dawana is here and Kathy. All right. Are you guys ready for this next one? This next one is going to be fun. So this is our geranium. I'm going to, yeah, I'm just going to make some space. I'm just going to like a little damp spritz because that's almost gone already. I'll grab a tissue. I mean, I have plenty of room on this palette. I could just move it and mix, but we're just going to make a space here. We're going to need green again, but it'll give us a clean spot to work with. Okay, are you ready? We're going to get really loose with these, and we're going to do some line work, I think, on part of this after. I think that'll be the last of the line work. We are not going to do line work on these. Okay, my size 6 is way over here. First thing we're going to do is we're just going to take up here where the head of our geranium would be. We're just going to put down some water. I'm kind of taking it right off there because I'm just picturing like a round space, right? Geranium flowers make this round clustery ball, kind of like our alliums do. And of course our bee balm, that's a whole other. Can you just picture like a little face right here on our bee balm? This paper's drying so fast. Oh my gosh, that like sucked that right in. I'm gonna put down plenty of water here. And we're going to take our red, and this is our alizarin crimson. And these are like electric. I'm gonna bring a little bit of that deep yellow over here. The color, it just does not even do these justice. These geraniums, they were on the thumbnail. Now we're just going to drop in some color. Remember, our watercolors will dry lighter. We're just going to drop in some color. Don't worry about leaving space. It's fine. All right. Now bringing a little bit more red over here. And I'm going to come in and paint. Oh, before we do, see, almost forgot again. Almost. There's red paint on that brush. Hopefully I'll remember that. I'm going to come over here below where I've got my water, and I'm going to just grab my kneaded eraser and lighten up my drawing some. We started with this part of our flower because we need that to dry so we can come back with our next layer. I kind of smeared red paint down there, but not worried about it. There we go. Good enough. Good enough. Okay. Heather says I went pretty well with my color selection. Yeah, 24 out of 250 colors to choose from, right? You can do up to 2 if everybody's like, what are we talking about here? When we play bingo, when we play bingo this evening, you can fill out up to 2 cards, and I have a list of colors to choose from. All right, I'm coming in. I'm going to paint the red of the flowers of the buds. And anyhow, so you got to fill out your cards ahead of time from the list of names provided. And there are quite a few, right? We're just working on these buds here. So I am painting in around where that green is going to go. Right now we are painting wet on dry. Look at how much that's already lightening up where I put in that wash of reds. Painting around the one that's just budding out below it. Don't worry if I don't stay in the lines perfectly. It's fine. So there are some of our little buds. I'm going to fill in the little buds down here, the red parts. This one should paint up really quickly. least it's my hope. Okay, so our buds are painted. Next, we're going to do something very similar on the bottom. We're going to end up wetting this area where our leaves are, right? Just wet the area. Don't worry about parts of it are more wet than others. We're going to take our sap green. Again, it's just not quite the color that I want. It's close, just a tiny bit of that yellow ochre in there. And I'm going to come where these are. These geraniums have, and that's why I gave you some petals lined out. The centers have the green and the edges are white. So I'm going to just kind of plop this in to the middle of these spaces, and that's going to bleed however it wants to, and that's fine. But it's going to also just give us some natural edges that are going to start happening. I avoided where that stem was, and it might bleed into it a little bit, and that's fine. We don't mind. Okay, so we're just going to drop this in loosely. Like that bled over, don't worry about it. Okay, now some of these other areas, I'm just going to drop some green color. Grab a little bit of that sap green, and let's drop some darker value in these edges. I'm going to drop some of that darker value, kind of just tap it in right in the center. And let that kind of fade out. The other thing that is really unique about these, and we're going to have to wait, just like we did with our bee, we have to wait for some of this color, or excuse me, we have to wait for that water to start to dry. We need this to have that really dull sheen on it. See right there? Too much. If you can see how much is reflecting in the light, that is too much. We need that to be a little less. These actually have like almost like a red ring in the leaves. It blends with the green, so we're going to do that. Is that back? Wildflower says that the masking tape from Mead and having several widths would be very handy. I need to email my contact if that is back, because they're supposed to send me that when it came back in stock, because that is the one that I want, because that is absolutely the one I would recommend. And I told him that. I was like, as soon as you send me that, that is the one I'll be recommending. All right. So this is done. It's like all but dry. Like, see, almost all the shine is gone. And I'm just going to take this and I'm going to just tap in. I'm just kind of tapping around on my leaves here. Like a little edge that has some red in it. It almost looked like a heart. When Sarah was painting the geranium leaves, she commented that they look like lily pads, and I was like, oh my goodness, she's right. They do look like they could be lily pads. Just gonna put some red in other spaces around here. Like, we don't know what those leaves are doing, but grab my red. It was getting mixed with too much green on my brush, so it was looking a little less red. That one I need to just do at that edge, because this is actually, I've got to work on that leaf some more detail, because we are seeing these kind of flat, and this one, it like there's a lip up, so if I wanted the red, I would actually put it like this, because we're gonna, when I line that, the way that leaf is kind of bent. Okay. All right, you ready for some fun? This comes together like really easily. We need to paint our stems in, but I want to wait for this to dry because I don't want it to bleed into that space. I want my stems to be, I want those to have hard edges. I can, however, grab some of this yellow and bring it up here just to adjust that green. And I'm going to paint the green on my buds. Right, this one is, these are coming out from this cluster of flowers, and we're going to do those flowers in just a minute. Oops. Don't worry if you go outside the line, it's fine. Do my stem from this one. Comes right in front of that leaf back there. Down into there. Okay, are you ready? These are super simple. A geranium has, let me grab this red. I'm grabbing a touch of my deep yellow for my color. There we go. Gorgeous. Doesn't matter if it's the same as it was before. These are going to be redder because remember I pulled more of the alizarin crimson to do them. Now we're going to just make some petals. Right? We're going to do some geranium flowers. We want to leave some marks where we can see that background. Let some just blend out and don't worry about that. We're going to see them from different angles. And you can even just, once we have a couple that we're going to be able to recognize, you just dab some in. Right? I'm going to kind of let these fade out that way. Like, I don't mind if they are, I don't mind if this gets looser. I wet my brush. So this is just going to make some more marks that they're definitely going to lighten up. And we have our cluster of geranium flowers. That's it. That's it. Now we need to fix our leaves. And then this one is done. Look at us go. That is another Tara wildflower. Tara is still very much a mod. And hello, Michelle. Okay. Yeah, there's our moderator, Tara. She's still here as a mod. Like, Tara's been around since like day one. Tara and Joseph. Also, these right here, I need to put some stems that are going up to these leaves. I almost forgot those. Right? There's some stems right here. These leaves that are sticking up. So I had my sap green and a touch of my yellow ochre. That's what I did for like my other stems. I'm gonna bring more sap green in. Let's green it up. Tapping, make sure I don't have too much on my brush. I wouldn't worry if all of a sudden I'm like, oh, that green is so much different, because guess what? I can just bring it right up my stem. And it works. Rinse my brush out. Tap that off on my sponge. And I'm just going to pull down alongside that. And it will fade and blend right nice. I'm definitely going to darken this up underneath here. Right, this is underneath and behind these buds, so certainly going to darken that up. Okay, I'm going to give these stems a quick dry, and I will show you what we're going to do. I'm just going to put a little, just using the very tip of my brush now to put some darker marks on these buds. There we go. I'm going to dry that, and we're going to put some lines around our leaves. They're going to be done. This one will be finished. Check the chat while I do that. Okay. Welcome, Susan. Oh, there went my heat tool. We might need that again. If we do, I'll pick it up then. If not, it's there for the duration. I missed my hook when I went to set that down because I was trying to say, welcome to Susan, another viewer from down under. It's so nice for you to be here. Okay, so now I'm just going to line some of these. And I'm just going to go, right, and just give them a little bit of a wonky edge because they're geranium leaves and that's what they have. I'm not going to worry about these because they're kind of off. You see, I went right over right out into my masking. Now this one here is a little tricky because it goes like this. It kind of, we come out and then it actually comes up like that. and down to its stem, right? We're seeing that leaf kind of like cup shaped. So that one kind of goes like that. And we have lines down, down, up to this guy. And that is another one back there. And I'm leaving an edge because, again, these leaves, this particular plant has a white edge around its leaf with a little bit of a red ring in the middle, and then it's greener in the center. So perhaps there's like one like that. And we'll just give it, there we go. How super easy are those? You can, if you want to, do some lining on your buds up here. You don't have to. You can leave them just the way they were. But because I get to do this, oh my gosh, I think Lou is cooking something. I'm smelling food, and he knows we have the member and patron appreciation night tonight. So I know he's probably making food so that we can eat in between. So if you are a member or a patron, I hope that you will check. If you're here on YouTube, the post is on the community tab. If you're a member and you click on the community tab, if you go to my channel and click on the community tab, it should show up there for you with all of the information for how you will connect to Zoom. I'm going to go ahead and just outline. Why not? I've done it with all the rest of it. Bring that down. But if you are a patron, there is absolutely a post there as well. Once you can either get the downloads for your bingo cards. Remember, you must fill those out before we begin. So after the stream today, how about we just do a couple of these? So after the stream today, be sure, if you haven't already done it, I know some of you already have because we've been talking about it on Discord. If you have not, then you are definitely going to want to get your cards filled out. All the details are there. If you are having trouble getting anything downloaded, either from Patreon or Discord, just when it gets to these, look, I'm just doing kind of like, I'm just letting it be loose. I will show these kind of up close in a moment. But yeah, if you're having trouble with the downloads, all you have to do is click into the Zoom, and I've actually posted them in the chat as well. So they're in the chat for you over there on Zoom. All right, look at that. So I said earlier today when I shared this over on Discord, Rob, that I was hoping that these were going to be some of the easiest loose geraniums that you've done. And I hope now that you've seen that, that maybe you agree. And there's Lou. Hi, Lou. And we have a thumbs up. We have a thumbs up on dinner. It smells. The smells are like driving me crazy in the studio because I'm quite hungry today. Okay, look at that. I think we have time to do our bee balm. You guys, we're going to let's go right into it. So for our bee balm, I'm going to work the same kind of greens, right? My sap green, a little bit of my yellow ochre, to pull in, right? Look at that. Look at this just take off. I love the sap green in a wet wash because it kind of separates. Let me show you. Oh, first, so that I don't forget, let's loosen up our lines. There we go. We're just going to lighten some of these up. we're going to be working on our bud. We're going to do some similar like we did with the leaves here with the red, because there's a little bit of red in the green of that bud on the bee balm. I'm loving that little geranium. I'm just loving the way that that one came out. Okay. Let's dive right in. So on our greens, I'm going to wet this leaf here because I want you to see it is the one most in front. So I'm going to wet this. Nice wet wash. This paper I'm finding, the Strathmore Vision, is definitely a thirsty paper, at least in my studio. I mean, it sucks that water right in. Here's our sap green. I'm just going to drop this in. I want you guys to see the yellow kind of pulls. This is a mixture. And I did share, if you watch the unboxing, like the pigments that are in these paints, because these are pigment based. These are also light fast. That is one of the benefits of Hydrus. It is one of the reasons that I chose Hydrus to be the liquid watercolor. And it was a throwback to when I started in watercolor. And this is kind of a throwback, I mean, a like nod, if you would, to Sarah, who I used to, when I first started, I started with liquid watercolors, and it was let's make art at the beginning of my watercolor journey because I needed to learn some techniques, and she was a great teacher. And so, yeah, we use liquid watercolors in the beginning, and they're fun. But these are definitely a pigment based, and they are light fast. So the other Tara, oh my gosh, I just realized, Tara, that you changed your name to the other Tara. That is fantastic. Dinner is a distant memory here. Oh, that is so funny. That will work as long as it can be seen. You're all good. What am I'm missing? Somebody must have been asking about. Yeah, the other Tara. I'm just going to have to draw out the bingo cards. No functioning printer. That is fine. Yeah, if you don't have a printer that to print them out, you can absolutely print out your cards. I'm painting this leaf in the background. You can absolutely print out your cards, and as long as they are big enough to be read and the names are legible and it looks, you know, obviously not the words at the top, you just need the bingo squares. That is perfectly fine. All right, I'm going to paint some of the these two leaves that were in the background. That one is really wet. I guess I didn't think that through. Whatever. It's going to be fine. I'm just going to avoid that edge, and if it bleeds a little bit, it doesn't matter, because these leaves are actually painting around my stem here. These leaves are actually like a sawtooth edge, and we're going to put that in. I should have done it already, but I forgot. So what that means, right? I'm just going to pull little points on the edges of my leaves here. Right? It's, yeah, I will remember. I'll remember on the rest of them. Do it as I'm painting it. This one's going to need them, but we'll do another layer. I just wanted you to see how like that sap green moves, and it looks very, very pale, almost yellow green. It is, it's got PY3, PB15. Those are the two pigments that make that sap green up. So pulling some more sap green in here. And I can get very, like, I can get very dark. If I just go like, this has been, because I put that out at the beginning, a lot has, you know, evaporated. And if I actually grab a touch of my carmine, bring that over here, look at that, it's going to give me a beautiful nice dark green as well, because the carmine is going to neutralize that sap green. And remember, be careful, because you already have a blue and a yellow in here. If you bring too much red in, you're going to get brown or even leaning black. We don't want that. I'm going to do my stem in this nice dark green. So again, this is being painted wet on dry paper. Wet paint, dry paper. And I'm just going to come through and put in, I think, all of my stems while I'm doing this. If you're painting along, if you are a member or a patron and you're connected to Discord, I would love to see yours when you're done. You can post it in finished paintings over there. And if you're not, but you are following along, whether it be with the curated collection or your own paints, you can absolutely paint this with what you have. I would love to see it. Post it on social media and tag me. I am at Clark Fine Art on obviously, yes, here on YouTube, but I am at Clark Fine Art on Facebook. Discord, not Discord. Oh my goodness, the brain is not working. Painting and talking are not working right now. Instagram. There we go. On Instagram, I am at Clark_Fine Art. That's the only place that it's different. Everywhere else, it's just Clark Fine Art. There we go. I'm making my clean water very dirty. Bringing some more yellow ochre in. I want a variation of this green so that I can paint this leaf here and it will look a different color. Now this time we need to remember it is a sawtooth leaf. So I'm going to break those edges as I come back. Right? The way I drew it out does not look that way, because I was planning on just painting it in. So just know, break the plane and pull that color. So we're gonna, right, starting just outside the leaf and pull it in. There we go. I like the color of that one. I did. Yeah, Michelle. So the sign up for where does one sign up for Discord? New member. Okay. Michelle, did you already create a Discord account? So the first thing you have to do is download the Discord app, or on the computer, or if you already use Discord and you already have a Discord account, that makes it even easier. That's one less step to do. But you have to have a Discord account. They are free. So you will then, once you have your Discord account set, you are going to go into your settings on Discord. So there's like a little cog wheel near like your name. And on there, you're going to click on that cogwheel, so your user settings, and then you're going to select connections. There should be one that says connections. You will click on that, and then you will, or connected accounts or something to the like. And you will see, once you click on that, you will see YouTube. You're going to click on YouTube, and you're going to sign into YouTube with this account that you're on right now. And once you do that, the little bot will know that YouTube will know, hey, you are a member of this channel, and one of the perks is Discord access, and it would automatically grant you access to my Discord. Now, it might not automatically drop you in the server. What you might have to do is you may have to you'll see the little white circle, like what is right next to my name. If I were to drop into the chat, which I will do so you can see. Hi. Okay, that little icon, that's what is on my server as well. So there you go. You will see that, and you'll have access, and you just click to join the server, but you'll have access to it. And if you have done all of that and you don't see it yet, just be patient, because YouTube is usually really good. Sorry, guys, I was doing a straight line. I cannot straight line and talk at the same time, but YouTube is usually really good about getting people onto the server. So if you have any other questions, drop in and ask. Wildflower, the cards are there on Discord for you to download. That is going to be a blank card, and you can play up to 2. So you can fill in and create 1 or 2 different cards to use for the game this evening. I hope that makes sense. I hope that is answering your question. I'm working on this sawtooth edge here to this leaf. I was not liking that. Just dipped my brush in a little water, and I'm going to kind of pull this color in. Here we go. I don't care if there's still some little lighter spaces, that's fine. All right, the other parts where they are green is here. Right, would that be like the calyx? Is that what they call it? The base part, like the green part of the bud that opens, and then the flower comes from in that. I think that's what it is. If not, I'm sure somebody's going to correct me. It is inevitable. But I don't mind, because I like to learn and be correct. Okay, the easel with the green squares is your example of the pattern bingo we're going to play tonight. So like if you actually had the squares that correspond to what you see filled in with green, when I call out your colors this evening, if you saw those, if you had them in those that made that pattern, you would be able to call out bingo. Taking a little bit of sap green, stronger, and putting it on here. I want that darker. I just grabbed that full strength and just dove right on in. No fear. Make it happen. Do that up here too. It's a little cooler than what I've been using with the yellow ochre, and that's fine. I'm actually going to drop a little bit down here. Right, like shadow for that. There we go. These are red. Those are red. That part was green. I think one of these is supposed to be green, but maybe not on the big one. Okay, so here I need to get my, this is the bud that I said we're going to add, drop in some red into. I'm going to put my green on there. Yeah, it must be the faux paint name. Absolutely. Yes. The other Tara, yes. And I'm going to be on there as soon as I finish eating. I will end up on the Zoom early, just in case people have questions so that they can be answered. So don't worry if you have questions or if you're a little confused with something. Certainly, if you're on Discord, drop it there. Rob and Tara are going to be my moderators tonight. They were there for the whole. I'm dropping in a little bit of red in that bud. They were there for the whole practice, so they helped me work out a lot of the kinks and what was going on. I'm taking a little bit of the Indian red. I'm gonna bring that in. What time do we got? We're good. Yep, I'm bringing a little bit more of that Indian red in. So look at that nice deep red we get with the Indian red and the carmine. That is gorgeous. And we are going to paint in. I'm going to start low. Yeah. Paint some of these petals. Oops. And I'm hoping that Rob and or Tara, if I've missed any questions on that they are getting it. Oh, wow. Steak bomb subs. That sounds so really delicious. I'm like, oh, that's my favorite. Peppers and onions and mushrooms. Ah, so good. You're so good to me. Painting some of our petals. These are so pretty. And the hummingbirds, oh my goodness. Do the hummingbirds love these guys? And this that we're painting right now, this is it just starting to bloom. These get like crazy. Yeah, Heather, you can get into the Zoom, and the chat is there. And like I said, I did post the files in the chat for anybody who might be having trouble. And if you're going, how on earth? If you are a patron or a channel member, you have access. It will either be in your community posts here on the channel. Go to Clark Fine Art community tab. You know, if you go to youtube.com/@clarkfineart/community, that'll get you there. And if you are a super fan, if you've been gifted a membership tonight, guess what? You have access. So thank you, Rob, for those gifted memberships. And you do definitely have time to join in. So if you're here in the stream and you got that, you can absolutely join us. I'm taking just the Indian red because it's going to be darker. And I'm going to do, that's really dry. There we go. And I'm going to do these behind petals that are a little bit deeper. See what they look like. It's coming from underneath. Depending on how things go this evening, I mean, this may become an annual event as far as the member appreciation night. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope you guys are too. Pulling in some of the wispy little, it's almost like hair-like parts that stick out at the base. Now this ball here is really dark. It's really dark. We're going to take our Indian red, and I'm going to take a little bit of my Payne's gray, and I am going to bring those together. That is looking like super deep purple, not the band. Am I aging myself again? Joseph's probably going, yes. Maybe Rob too. All right, more. I want more Indian red than only needed like a little dot for that. I want it to be way more red. And again, that Payne's gray is so blue. To me, it just looks like an indigo color. I mean, it's gorgeous. Not complaining. But I'm going to paint that underneath. And the edge, it's very like, these look very almost hairy at the edges. So when it gets to the edge, I'm going to break the plane. There we go. Look at that. A little more dark. If I need any separation, I can use this color as well. Oh, and we had some red ones behind. Oh, hey, Shanna. The other Tara says, what kind of flower is this? This is bee balm. This is bee balm, and they grow. I'm going to use this really dark that I got that's leaning much more red for these that are like the underneath side that I'm seeing behind. I was really hoping we would get to the allium today. I really wanted to paint that one. Shanna, Caution Artist at Play, that's in the chat here. She and I went to the Coastal Maine Botanical Gardens. Those were actually, these were from a photo I took while we were there painting for their plein air event. There's our little bee balm there. And now we have one here. We need to, I'm going to do the dark center again. This should paint up pretty quickly. I think I would be able to do the alliums quickly, but I also have to keep in mind we have our other event, and I do have to eat. We will see. I don't know. I also don't want to rush it, but they really don't take very long at all. That one is a quick one. The way that I'm going to do it anyways. It should be a very quick one. All right, let me get my red. We're going to paint out our petals. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, working with our red. Let's paint these. I brought this one right off the page, so I'm painting right off my tape. Hopefully we will have Shanna and Joseph there this evening if they're not busy. Both of them have channels here on YouTube. So Joseph, our moderator, Tara, our other moderator, not the other Tara, but Tara Giblin. Tara Giblin Art has a channel here. They're linked in the description below. So I definitely encourage you to check our moderator channels out. If you love live streams, Joseph live streams just about every Monday, same time as I stream here on Thursdays. Now, reminder again, next Thursday is 4th of July, so I won't be streaming. I might stream on the 3rd. And again, if I do that, I will definitely have made that decision in advance and get that posted for you. Otherwise, I will have a video with our next painting with these supplies from our curated collection. I already have it edited. I just have to post that for you. So you will have a video, one way or the other, you will have a video that you can paint along with your curated collection. Oh, I missed some green for that little bud right there, the little leaf. We can see just a part of it. Just gonna pop some in there. Doesn't matter which green it is. As long as it's just slightly different, it'll look like it could be a leaf to that one. It's fine. Oh, there we go. I'm not liking how cool just that sap green on its own, I'm not liking how that looked. I'm just bringing in a little bit more of this with the warmer. I'll take some yellow ochre. There's green right there from where I had touched it to grab it to mix. So that's fine. Hopefully not overworking it. Bring a little bit more into these. Darken part of that up. There we go. And we'll pull some little veins into this leaf. Because you can see the veins on these leaves. Bringing these around, come off the, kind of helps show its form. It's coming and bending down. Whereas this one is kind of going up. It comes like this. It's a little, not quite the color I was going for, which is fine. Just see, I don't know if it's too late. Lift some of it out. And this can certainly have some shadowing from the one above it. There we go. All right. I think this needs to be just slightly darker. I'm taking some of that Payne's Gray, which is definitely a bluish. But I'm just going to layer over it and just kind of dab some space in here. Same with this one. There's our bee balm. Okay. Are you guys ready? This is going to be super quick, and that's why I'm going to go ahead and do it. For our allium, we're going to take this green. Again, I'm going to bring my yellow ochre in because I like that green better. They mixed this sap green with phthalo green, right? PB15. And I don't think that phthalo blue, PB15. So phthalo blue and a yellow. Phthalo to me is not a very nice, like, natural color I'm gonna think of for nature. I'm just gonna bring in some of these leaves. I did not lighten my lines. Not gonna worry about it. It will be fine. All right, that's just something to stress over that's not necessary. We'll paint over some of these again. My apologies if I have missed any questions in chat. I keep looking up and trying to make sure that I'm not. Okay. If I missed a question and you have a question, type Q colon and your question. It will light it up on my screen, and then I will double check before we sign off and say goodbye for any of your questions. So if you had a question about these, about the supplies, or anything else, just type in Q colon and your question. Of course, if you're watching on the replay, this does not apply to you. If you're not watching this on Thursday, June, I almost said September, on Thursday, June 27th, while it is live, at 5 o'clock, your question's not going to light up for me. I will see the comments, and I'll be happy to answer any questions in the comments from the replay. But just so you're aware, that only works while I'm live. All right. We are going to, I'm going to do the stocks at the end, because for these, it's kind of like we did this one. We're going to take these little areas where the little balls are of flowers, and mine looks a little green right now. That's fine. It's just because my water is dirty. I'm going to let that set for a minute. I want it to soak in just a little bit. Remember this Payne's gray and red that we made before? Look at that purple. If I dilute that out, look at that purple. It's a lovely purple. So that was like the Indian red and the Payne's gray. Yeah, that's what we're using. Right, let's just drop some in. This is really wet. We're gonna have to come back and do this again. Drop that in. Look at those little allium. We will come back and do those again and make them dry. Oh, excellent. So Michelle, you did get yourself connected and you found the information on Discord. Perfect. 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 Again, it is also, if you are a super fan or if you are a channel member here on YouTube, how to get into all of it for this evening is in your community posts. So you just have to look on my channel on the community tab. I'm going to go to our little dragonfly. So again, I'm going to make my really dark. I'm going to take some of this burnt sienna right over here in this pile that I had of the Payne's gray. And that's very brown. Right now, that's like very umberish. We're going to take a little bit more of that, mix those in. And I fear I went the opposite direction, which is fine. There we go. We're calling that good enough. Okay, let's paint in our little dragonfly. Start with his little tail. And I'm not going to worry if these are not completely touching. It's just going to look like little highlights on his body. So it's fine to leave a little space. Right, here's our little segments. And you could paint your dragonfly any color that you wanted to. You could have made them a blue dragonfly. We have blue dragonflies here in Maine. They are gorgeous. Gorgeous. I'm going to do kind of a little bump here and a little bump here to like signify like his little eyeballs. There we go. And I'm going to try my best. I'm going to move this. I'm trying my best to line these wings. So I'm going to come out right with my paintbrush. I'm going right off my tape because that's how it is drawn. Right off my tape. This one we sort of see the edge. And guess what? I'm just going to you could do this if you are not comfortable making lines. And you could use a smaller brush, of course. I find that if I roll the tip of my brush, I'll get a better point. Right? And I want those lines in his wings. I want this to be much lighter. So I'm going to dab and lift. It's not doing much. And I just like imprinted it. When you dab and lift, don't go back down with the wet ink or the wet paint on your paper towel. I tell you, you never know what's going to happen live. And it's fine. Let's just take a clean brush. I'm going to wet a little bit of that. I'm actually going to dampen in his wing here, and I'm going to lift. There we go. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to kind of dampen in his wing here. You're like, oh my gosh, you just filled it in. It's fine. Lift. It's fine. There's his little wings. Yes, the lines are disappeared, but I can absolutely put those back in with the liner pen. I could do it with my brush, or I could do it with a liner pen, just like our little bumblebee. He's kind of flown, whatever. He's come through our scene. There he is. All right. This is still very much wet. Let me dry that real fast because we are, remember that heat tool that was on the floor? I have to get that. Okay. Here we go. I have to mute you for a second. Okay, good enough. I'm going to paint the stems first. We're just about done. Trying to think of all the other orders of business we have to take care of before we sign off. If you have enjoyed today's video, please do hit that like button. Thumbs up. It definitely helps. If you have not yet subscribed, I invite you to hit that subscribe button as well. Turn on notifications and join us in a future live stream. Channel members, not channel members, subscribers. There is a difference there. Subscribers get to chat with me during the live stream. And I invite you to come on by and say hello. Heather says, yes, we do. And you never know what's going to happen. You never know what is going to happen when we are live. Michelle says, chive blooms? Nope, these are allium. So I guess in that same family, but these were monstrous. I don't know if Shanna's still here. Caution artist at play, but she can definitely share. These were very big. So if you are aware of like how large the leaf clusters are for lilies, like a daylily, that's these clusters. They are very large like that. And these are quite tall. I mean, these are like I want to say these were like chest height for me. I mean, granted, I am short. But even at just about 5'4", they're tall. Okay, we need just a few more touches for our allium. So we're going to take some more purple. I want it just a little bit darker this time. And I'm just going to add in, I should have dampened those first, sorry. We are going to just not super wet, right? We don't want them soaked, just enough for what we do now to kind of move around slightly. We don't want hard edges. We're just going to drop some marks in here for some shadowy areas. And then I am going to take my Dr. Page Martin's Bleed Proof White. What else could you use? If you don't have Dr. Page Martin's Bleed Proof White, if you have a gel pen and it wants to work on the paper, I wonder if they will work on this. This is such a, for something that claims to be a cold press paper, this is actually, in my opinion, the Strathmore Vision is more like the texture of a hot press to me than a cold press, but you know, it is what it is. Just mixing up some more green, because remember I said I was going to come back over some of these just to differentiate like one leaf from another. You know what we can do? Why not? Let's just like pull. I'm just gonna pull some more back here, just to kind of. You don't have to do this. If you liked it just the way it was, leave it just the way it was. I just want to add some green. I'm just attaching it to the ground. You don't have to add this if you're painting along. You don't have to add this part at all. There we go. Okay. Our allium. I just have to give this one more dry so that I can mark on top of these, because these have like almost like little star-shaped flowers. And we're going to kind of emphasize that a little bit. And hopefully that is enough. Hopefully. I do have I have a jelly roll here. Let's just see if it wants to. All right, it's writing on my hand. So literally, we're just gonna we're gonna do, I am making like little star shapes. You see those? I'm just gonna do some of those. You can use Dr. Page Martin's Bleed Proof White and to do this, if that's what you have. And if it pulls in some of the purple from underneath, that's fine. It's just going to be a nice light lavender color, and that would be even better. You could also do this if you had like a little bit of gouache. Or don't even worry about it, because they would just look like big loose balls of, the allium flower. And they would still look just fine. Right around those edges, I'm just kind of doing like, if there was one on the edge, we might not see the whole thing. We might just see parts of it. Yeah, those are dry. And now that that is dry, I could even go back over that, most likely. This is that part where I go, oh, will I regret this? Oh, I'm just taking a little bit of that purple. And like, where did my tissue go? Yep, that's perfect. So if it's like too bright, if I come back over that, and just dab. Well, now I just have these nice little lavender flowers. There we are. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this one. I hope you painted along, or that you're possibly going to do this after. Just putting some more lines on my little wing there. Fill in that little bit. There we go. Let's peel the tape and we are done. Yes, I see you waving at me. And I see Rob telling me too to go eat, because I have to be back in a short time for everything else. So I'm going to warm up the tape. We're going to reveal our little bookmarks, and we will be all set. So again, that was a half sheet of our Strathmore Vision. Look at that. Watercolor paper from the Curated Collection. I used my Meeden tape to tape this down. Look at that edge. Lovely. Then I'll just use my paper cutter and I will cut right up the centers of these to separate them. And I will probably do that when I come back from eating. So if you are on the Zoom this evening, I will share them with you over there once they're all cut apart. When we get on and we're waiting to everybody to get their cards verified. So I do hope you're joining us tonight. Again, it is June 27th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time is my patron and member appreciation night. I definitely appreciate all you guys do to support the channel, and we're gonna have some fun, and there's gonna be some door prizes, and I hope that you will join me over there. Let's get a closer look at our bookmarks. Again, the line work for these are available for free over on Patreon. The link, if you're watching this on the replay, is in the description. I love those bee balms. I think they came out good. What's your favorite? Let me know in the comments. Which one was your favorite? The daisies, the geranium, the bee balm, or the allium? And I hope you guys are going to give one or all of these a try. Okay, so there we are. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button and possibly consider subscribing and joining us. Turn on the notifications because we are live just about every Thursday. Again, next week is 4th of July. So here in the US, that is a big deal. And I may not be streaming on the 4th of July. I won't be streaming on the 4th of July, but I may stream earlier. So I'm seeing things coming in, the bee balm and the geranium. I am loving the bee balm. I love that one. I think that one is my favorite as well. I'm gonna have to paint those again. I'll get more pictures as they finish doing their things and share them with you. Okay. So, yes, whatever. I was totally distracted by the answers. The bee balms, they're so pretty. Okay. Anyhow, did I miss a question? I just need to double check before we leave because I did tell you guys to type in Q:, and I'm not seeing any. Did I hit it wrong? Q:. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions that came in like that. That was a quick way that I can search for them. So, okay, there we go. Thank you for joining me. If you don't have the Curated Collection yet, and you see these in action, interested in possibly getting it, all the links are in the description below. You can choose the parts that you need and only get what you don't have. So that is the joy or the beauty of the point of all of the above, why I started creating these curated collections. So yeah, I hope that you are enjoying it. we're going to have another video and at least one more live stream where we're going to be working with these colors. So I hope you all are going to come back and join me again real soon. And that little hand over there, that one, he's just reminding me that I'm going to pop another video up right about there if you're watching this on the replay that you might like to watch next. Until next time, my friends, keep creating, and I will see you in a video real soon. For those of you who are members, I will see you tonight live on Zoom. Bye, guys.